A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. I asked Edith once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband.
What? That can't kill anyone. That's a freaking metal thing.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
What?
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Okay, so you said guess what? So what? What's up? You should probably go reset the receiver. That's what my mom is going to do. But you should first go ask like your mom. I'm gonna like reset the receiver because my phone is still recording. That might help.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Oh. So it's just on your screen.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
So what you gotta do is, like, go to the, settings, and, like, go to network, and then, like, put in your, like, network again, and it'll probably work.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Try resetting.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
And then, if, like, whenever you set the PlayStation, like, do the thing with the...
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
But reset your PlayStation. If that doesn't work, do the thing with the, network on the options again. After you reset the PlayStation. Alright? Because that might work. If you haven't done that, I don't know what to do.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Oh my god, whoa! This lady got a stomach. She's fat.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Okay, good. I don't eat the fish yet. I don't want to eat the fish yet.
I kept eating and eating.
Oh my gosh.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Okay. That's how you jump.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Yeet. Yeet. Oh, a cute little kitty.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Why is it supposed to be up? How am I supposed to get over there? This kitty sounds cute. Get over here, kitty.
I jumped and I almost got her. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungry. hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight. And I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, and I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
What the heck? Bro, that was weird. Alright.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Bro, like, the house probably is the curse.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, that's expected when you're riding a boat with a house on it, like...
Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Alright.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Oh my god. What's this? There's a secret in the bathroom. There's a secret in the bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
That's very clever. Well, she just slammed it on that. Trying to put it back.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Alright,
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
I'm going to end this here. Make sure to like the video because it was good. So I force you to like the video because the video was good. And I will be back on the game again. I will do another new thing. Listen, like the video because I force you because this video was good. Or you don't have to if you hated the video. And just subscribe because I'm a good video maker. And I can make videos good. And yeah. Well, bye. Bye. What's going on? Why? Why are you doing this? Bro. No. Why are you doing? Let me do mine. I'm not supposed to do this. I gotta take a shower, man. Options. No. Okay. Stop broadcast.